right now, Eyewitness Sports.
Good evening, I'm Brennan Miller with Eyewitness Sports. There's only one boys hockey game in Section 3 tonight, but maybe rightfully so, as the rivalry matchup between Whitesboro and New York State Division II number 5 New Hartford took center stage. The Spartans hosting the Warriors in their first head-to-head this season. Last year it was a series split. 1-0 in favor of New Hartford in Game 1, and then a 7-0 game that Whitesboro won in Game 2. This is a very different Spartans team, though, and they showed it off in the first, controlling much of the possession until Gavin Lapola gives them the lead on the rebound with less than a minute to go. Now the second and another rebound, initial save made, but Daniel Paciello there to clean up for his first of the year. 2-0 Spartans with just under 5 to play in the period. And then to really put it away, Sean Elbrecht gets the breakaway, top corner, great hands. It's 3-0 just 2 minutes after Paciello's goal. New Hartford scores again in the second. They lead 4-0 after 2, add another 3 in the third, and they get a 7-0 win at home. Lapola and Anthony Falvo each with a goal and 2 assists to lead the scoring. Derek Joy tallies 25 saves in the shutout win. Meanwhile, not a terrible game for Whitesboro's netminder either. Gives up the 7, but he was getting peppered. Faced 41 shots. These two play again in February on the 7th in Whitestown. It's Whitesboro's regular season finale. For New Hartford, it'll be a tune-up for the only team ahead of them in the New York State rankings from Section 3, Skinny Atlas. They'll play the Lakers 2 days after that game. So New Hartford hasn't lost in their last 5 games. A team that also hasn't seen a lot of losses pile up is Utica City FC. They were in action over the weekend, Game 2 of their road trip all the way in the Pacific Northwest to play the Tacoma Stars after losing their first game of the season to the Milwaukee Wave just a few days prior. And it's going to be loss number 2 for the Blues. They actually tied this contest at 6, 5.5 minutes into the fourth quarter, but couldn't answer 4 straight Tacoma goals after that. So after the hottest start in team history, 6-0 and first place in the entire league, Utica City has cooled down a bit. Losses in back-to-back games, albeit without their starting goalie Andrew Coughlin, who has missed both of those games with an illness. But it's going to be a tough one to try and break the losing streak their next time hitting the pitch. The road trip continues at Kansas City, playing a Comets team that took over that mantle of top team in the league with a 7-1 record, giving them 21 points. That game is on Friday. Some other scores from this weekend, though, on the ice for the ranked Utica University men's and women's ice hockey teams. The men playing their second at home against Manhattanville, winning that game 7-4 with 7 different Pioneers finding the score sheet. Meanwhile, the women on the road at Alvernia completing a 2-game sweep of the Golden Wolves with a 4-1 win. Carolyn Whitney leading the scoring there with 3 points on 2 goals and an assist. She was also 10 of 14 from the faceoff dot as well. Staying in the D3 ranks, the Hamilton College men and women both in action as well. The men shut out by Bowdoin 2-0. The first time they've been shut out in almost a calendar year. Meanwhile, the 7th ranked women getting a nice win over 11th ranked Colby on Saturday in overtime 3-2. This after falling to the Mules the night prior 2-1. With that split, they stay at number 7 in the USCHO.com national poll. Meanwhile, Colby goes from 11 to number 9. And up in Division 1 over at Colgate, the same scenario. Both squads working on Friday and Saturday nights. The men out in Orono taking on the number 10 or the top 10 ranked Black Bears of the University of Maine, losing 3-1 on Friday, but grabbing a 4-4 tie in the second game. The Raiders a few games under 500, but haven't been bad against ranked squads as of late, including a 4-2 win over then number 16 Cornell, the game prior to this road trip. Meanwhile, the women, who have been very good all year, hosted 2 different ranked teams in number 10 St. Lawrence and number 5 Clarkson, splitting those games with a 7-3 win and then a 1-0 loss. Just their 3rd loss of the year, and with that, they flip with the Golden Knights in the national poll at the 4th and 5th spots. So there's your weekend recap, and that will do it for Eyewitness Sports. There's going to be more Eyewitness news coming up right after the break. Shelby, what is coming up?
Well, Brennan, coming up next after the break, Syracuse's Jim Teskey explains what a total eclipse is. That's next after the break.